everyone, and welcome to our webinar, How to Bring Marketing at the Revenue Table. I'm Sandra Georgescu, VP of Agency Partnerships at MyOutreach, and I've been working in B2B demand generation and commercial strategy for the past 14 years on the client, agency, and publisher side. Most of my work focuses on helping tech brands connect marketing activity with actual commercial outcomes, which is exactly why I'm so excited to host this conversation. Today's conversation is all about something we see more and more in B2B marketing. Campaigns that look good on paper, but don't always translate commercially. So we'll also touch on the gap between sales and marketing. I know everyone experienced this at some point in their careers. Direct versus channel strategies, and what actually helps marketing get closer to the revenue table. So now I'm very happy to introduce Bianca Bulat, Senior Partner Marketing Manager at NICE. With over 18 years of experience in B2B marketing, Bianca has a strong expertise on direct and channel marketing, working for companies like IBM, HP, Accenture, and NICE. Thank you so much, Bianca, for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. So, as Sandra mentioned, I'm Bianca and I work in partner marketing at NICE, focusing on channel strategy and revenue-driven marketing across EMEA and also the international markets, which basically means my day-to-day life is trying to keep marketing, sales, partners, pipeline, and from time to time, my sanity aligned at the same time. So this topic is very close to my reality, and I'm very excited to having this conversation today.
Nice one. Thank you again, Bianca. So we all talk about marketing having a seat at the revenue table. But in reality, I feel like a lot of marketing teams are still navigating the gap between what sales needs and what marketing is actually doing. Finding a common language around pipeline and commercial impact rather than just leads and impressions is a real challenge. So I would like to understand from you, Bianca, how did you overcome this challenge in your marketing role?
Well, one of the biggest shifts for me was changing the conversation from marketing activity to commercial impact. So earlier in my career, we were talking about leads, clicks, registrations, or campaign engagement. Those metrics matter, but they don't necessarily tell you whether you are moving your business commercially on a forward path. So we started doing some other things. So we changed the way we were conversating with our sales guys. For example, instead of asking how many leads did we generate from an activity, we started asking, did this create meetings? Did it influence opportunities? Did the sales team actually want to follow up? And of course, if the partners see value in this conversation. So especially in channel marketing, that alignment becomes critical because you're not just supporting one sales team. You're supporting, you're balancing internal stakeholders, you are balancing partners, agencies, regional priorities, and also different level of market maturity, because sometimes this can be very difficult. So for me, the breakthrough came from treating marketing less like a campaign engine and more like a revenue partner.
This is brilliant. And because you mentioned channel marketing, I have another curiosity. This is more of a personal curiosity. From my experience, alignment is already hard in a direct model, right? But in a channel model, it becomes even more complex. You're aligning, as you mentioned, multiple stakeholders, and each with their own pipeline and priorities, basically. So how do you see that playing out on your side? Do you feel marketing has less control when revenue is shared across different teams or partners?
Well, marketing definitely has less control in channel environment, but actually much greater influence, because in direct sales, you can often control messaging, targeting and follow-up and reporting and everything like that. But in channel marketing, success depends on alignment across multiple organizations. And every partner has different priorities, different sales motions, different maturity levels as well, and different marketing teams. So the role of marketing becomes orchestration. You have to create programs that are commercially relevant for us as a company, but also for our partners. And honestly, that's where a lot of marketing program fails, because we tend to say, look, this is what we are offering, and this is what you can go to the market with. which is not the right thing to do. Because they are designed from vendor perspective, this is not a shared revenue perspective, and this had to change. And the most successful campaigns I've worked on were the ones where we sat at the table with sales, with marketing, and with the partners in the same time, and we aligned upfront on things like who we want in the room, what is a valuable conversation, and what success actually means commercially, rather than leads, clicks, or this is the asset, go and use it for your own targeting. And that alignment before launch makes a massive difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and let's be honest, sometimes the issue, or like the main issue, isn't just alignment, is that, as bad as it sounds, marketing isn't always speaking the language of revenue. So I want to ask if you've seen situations where marketing activity looked amazing on paper. This is what we're going to achieve. This is the revenue we're going to get, but didn't translate commercially.
Well, absolutely. I think every marketer faced that at some point. So I have an example regarding an awareness focused campaign that generated huge amount of leads and engagement. And on paper, the number looks fantastic. However, when we looked deeper, the sales teams weren't converting those into conversations or meaningful pipeline. So the issue wasn't the campaign execution itself; it was the targeting and intent. So we were optimized for volume rather than commercial relevance. Therefore, we had to shift the strategy completely. And instead of broad lead generation, we focused on fewer but higher quality engagements, such as executive roundtables, partner-led conversations, account-based targeting. So we had to lean more on what the sales knowledge was for the market, rather than just finger in the wind and saying, "Oh, we know what we are talking about." And the lead volume actually decreased, but pipeline quality and sales engagement improved significantly. So that was something that everyone was happy about. And honestly, that taught me a really, really important lesson, that marketing success is not about generating the most noise. It's also about generating the right conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see this behavior changing, working with our B2B clients as well, focusing mostly on like multi-channel strategy rather than just volume. But speaking about marketing success and alignment, how often do your deals get blocked by other departments? And who is most likely to block it?
Uh, well, this happens more often than people would like to admit, because especially in bigger organization where the buying decision is no longer owned by just one team. Most deals don't get blocked because the solution isn't good. They usually slow down because every department is looking at this deal from a completely different angle. For instance, procurement is probably the most common blocker, because they are from a process perspective, because it's focused on costs, contracts, compliance, reducing risks, all the fun stuff, right?
All the fun stuff. So by the time campaigns get approved, the audience has already changed jobs, basically.
Well, unfortunately, this can happen, yeah, especially from your side as an agency, and also from our side when we see a deal going through. So, yeah. And interestingly, I don't think CMOs or CROs are necessarily the ones blocking them, but if marketing and sales aren't aligned internally on priorities, on messaging, on expected outcomes, that lack of alignment creates also uncertainty. So you can absolutely feel it will destroy the buying journey. So, which is why I think modern marketing should go far beyond awareness and lead generation, and we need to help create confidence, consensus, and real business value throughout the entire journey. So not only at the top of the funnel, we need to be involved until the end of a deal.
Mm, yeah, well, it makes perfect sense from our publisher side as well. So if we agree the gap exists, the real question is, how do marketing teams actually move closer to revenue, not just influencing and having visibility?
Well, for me, there are probably three big shifts marketing needs to make if they want to move closer to revenue. The first is speaking the language of pipeline rather than just marketing metrics. So marketing teams need visibility beyond the handover point. We don't need to stop where the SQL happens, right? We should know what converted, what stalled, what the sales actually found valuable in what we delivered. Because if we only measure clicks, impressions, and lead volumes, we're only measuring attention, but we don't see the commercial impact.
Yeah, and this is a very good point, and sorry to cut you off there, but I can see more marketers shifting their strategy towards pipeline. Even in our conversations, we are trying to bring everyone together, including marketing and sales, and discuss about a mid-term partnership, if you'd like, to make sure that people are on the right page. Is there anything else you would recommend?
Well, I think the second one is alignment before launch, right? We don't need to deliver a campaign to get sales involved. We need to get the sales involved in the delivery before we actually start. Some of the biggest campaign failures happen because sales and marketing never truly agreed on what a good lead or a valuable opportunity actually looks like. So also in channel marketing, especially, the alignment becomes even more important because you're coordinating across multiple stakeholders, partners, and also their priorities as well. And the most successful programs I've worked on were the ones where everyone aligned up front on what we want to engage, what conversation matter, and what success actually means commercially. And I have a third one, which I feel that is very, very important, is building marketing around engagement and intent, not just reach. So we have all these fantastic AI tools that we can use as well, and revenue rarely comes from random clicks. So definitely we need to sort this out from the beginning. So everything comes from trust, relevance, and meaningful conversations with the right people at the right time. We just need to be there at the same table for doing that. That's why things like executive roundtables, customer storytelling, partner collaboration, and accounts-based experience tend to create much stronger commercial outcomes that purely volume-driven campaigns. And I think the reality today is that great marketing isn't about just generating visibility anymore. It's about helping creating the pipeline, momentum, and also becoming a true revenue partner to the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm thinking about from our perspective as a publisher and demand generation strategy point of view, I think one of the biggest shifts we need to make is moving away from lead delivery, as we already agreed, and closer to revenue partnerships. So, as you mentioned, I feel like for years, success in B2B campaigns were often measured by volume. How many leads did we generate? How many registrations? How many MQLs? How many clicks? How many impressions? You name it. But commercially, that's not enough anymore. The best generation programs today happens when publishers, agencies, marketing, and sales teams from the client side work together much earlier in the process. As you already mentioned, it's very important to align everyone on what a good lead actually looks like. Understanding sales cycles, I think this is very important, and sometimes marketers are not fully aware of the sales cycle, or sales are not fully transparent about their sales cycles. Building content around real buyer conversations and intent, and also most of, like, this is more on the publisher and agency side, I would say, to optimize based on pipeline signals, not just CPLs. Um, because a campaign can look amazing in a report, as per your point, and still create zero revenue impact. And obviously, zero revenue is not a good thing for anyone involved in the partnership. And honestly, the strongest partnerships we see are the ones where everyone is accountable for business outcomes, not just marketing metrics. And I'm glad to see, as I mentioned before, I'm glad to see this behavior changing in the industry, and see clients and partners working as a team in a consultative way rather than just transactional. So I would say my conclusion is revenue is shared responsibility between marketing and sales and other departments, but let's focus on marketing and sales. Well, what do you think, Bianca?
Well, first of all, I just want to acknowledge the fact that awareness is still very important, especially for from a branding perspective.
Mhm.
But we should focus on the fact that this is not necessarily going to bring the ROI that the business expects in 6 months, right? So we definitely need to be there. We need to have this awareness type of exercises and to make ourselves noticed on the market. But this shouldn't be attached to an ROI. It should be like image capital, and that's it.
Mhm.
I think the future of marketing is not about proving marketing matters anymore. It's about proving marketing can influence revenue in a measurable and commercial credible way. And that only can happen when marketing and sales stop operating as separate functions and start behaving like a one revenue team. I feel that. Yeah, when I learned about marketing in school, we were talking about closed loop sales and marketing. This is actually the true thing that we need to still do, and we don't need to blame each other who is bringing more leads or who is bringing more engagement and so on. We should work as a cohesive team, which is something that we managed to do in NICE in the last couple of years. So I'm very excited about that.
Mhm. That's very good, and thank you so much for sharing your perspective. You
Of
mentioned
course.
something about AI, right? And I have a question from one of our registrants that I want you to answer to, because everyone, I feel like we kind of developed an obsession for AI. Everyone is talking about AI, but a lot of companies or a lot of strategy teams don't know how to use it or how to integrate it into their activities. So a few years ago, for instance, using AI in marketing felt innovative. I remember when we were both working at IBM, IBM was developing an AI solution that it wasn't very popular, basically, because no one knew what AI is 10 years ago. Today, however, it's simply expected. So, how soon should teams expect to see measurable revenue influence?
Yeah, well, Watson playing chess, right, in IBM. Well, I
Exactly.
think AI in marketing is very quickly becoming table stakes. So, yeah, not necessarily because every company is fully mature in how to use it, but because the expectation has shifted. So, buyers only expect faster responses. They need more relevant engagement, better experiences, and smarter interactions across the entire journey. But I also think there's a big misconception that simply adopting AI automatically creates revenue impact. From my experience, AI accelerates what already exists. So if your processes, targeting, sales alignment, or data quality is weak, AI will just help you scale the chaos faster. So I don't think it's a very good shout. But where I've seen the biggest value is in helping marketing and sales become more intelligent and responsive. So we are identifying intent earlier, we are personalizing engagement at scale, we can help prioritize the accounts that we are after, we are surfacing insights faster, so we don't have to wait 6 months for a report for I don't know, market trends or anything like that.
Mhm.
And we are reducing also the manual friction between teams, so that's very good. And in terms of measurable revenue influence, I think teams should start seeing operational impact relatively quickly. But meaningful revenue influence usually takes longer because revenue is rarely created by one campaign or an AI tool alone. So it depends on adoption, integration, also sales enablement and customer readiness,
Mhm.
and of course consistency, which is something that it's very tricky right now. And the companies seeing the strongest results are the ones treating AI as part of their commercial strategy and not just as part of the marketing experiment. So honestly, I think the future advantage won't come from simply using AI,
Mhm.
because everybody will. I will. It will come from how intelligently organizations combine AI, data, human relationship. Because let's not forget about the human interaction and the fact that when we buy from someone, we buy because we like that person, even if it's something like a car or anything. You go to a person that smiles and takes you to the across the journey, and you like that person, and you feel that they will give you the best car ever. However, they might not, but you will definitely buy from him because he is gonna give you the right experience. So please focus on customer experience all the time, because I feel that that's the most important thing that we still need to be human about.
I love this, and this is basically the best answer because I'm thinking about the fact that, well, AI will take our jobs one day, but I work in sales, you work in marketing, and I don't think AI will take our jobs
No.
not soon anyway, because you need that human and personal touch as well. Bianca,
So,
it was very insightful, and I really appreciate your perspective shared today. I'm sure the audience has some questions, so I would like to open the Q&A session. Luca asked from a channel perspective, where do you see marketing and enablement having the biggest impact in supporting those relationships?
in channel ecosystem, and particularly in smaller teams, relationship becomes incredibly important, yeah, much earlier in the journey, because from my experience, some of the strongest opportunities don't start from a high volume outbound. They start from trust, as mentioned before, shared network, executive relationship, or strategic conversations that evolve over time. And that's where channel enablement becomes critical, because good enablement isn't just giving a partner an asset or a deck and hoping for the best. We need to help them understand where the value is, how to position it commercially, how to have stronger business conversations, and how to build credibility with senior stakeholders. And especially at C-level, people are rarely buying from because of features alone. They are buying confidence, they are buying vision, risk reduction, business outcomes, and trusted relationships. So in smaller teams, particularly because our partners don't have a big marketing team or a big sales team. I've seen that relationship-driven selling can actually outperform traditionally high volume campaigns, because the engagement tends to be more strategic and more personable. And honestly, that's also where marketing can add huge value in channel, because we help create those environments, and where meaningful conversation will actually happen, and we can nurture them together.
And they happen more naturally, and you can actually build that genuine relationship
Of
and
course.
partnership, right? We have
Yeah.
another question from Mate, and I actually love this because it's about standing out. With all channels being so noisy, it is harder to stand out. In a sea of AI personalization, people are interested to learn how the relationship between sales and marketing can actually surface meaningful insight or data points around a prospect or customer's actions, interests, history engaging with the brand before a deal has even been done. So how do you see this? How sales and marketing can stand out from your perspective?
I think this is one of the biggest challenges in B2B right now, because everybody is using the same channels, the same AI tools, the same automation, and buyers are becoming incredibly good at filtering the noise. We know when a content is AI generated, right? So we can't be lied about that. So for me, the real differentiator is no longer just personalization, but its relevance and timing as well. And that's where the relationship between sales and marketing becomes incredibly powerful when it's working properly. Marketing often sees signals earlier than sales does, because we are closer to what marketing means, and we can see repeated engagement with specific topics. We can see attendance at certain events, which content people spend time on, which stakeholders are engaging across the account, and also patterns of intent data. But those insights only become valuable if we are sharing properly and combining it with what sales know about those accounts as well, because they know internal politics, they know budget timings, they know business pressures, they know existing vendor frustrations as well. So we need to talk to them and see who is actually driving the decision internally on those accounts. And when we combine these behavioral insights from marketing with the contextual insights from sales, you suddenly moved from generic outreach to a more intelligent engagement. So we need to work as a team. And honestly, it's a world full of AI generated noise. Buyers can still tell the difference between automation and genuine relevance. And it has to be, we need to be trustworthy in front of our customers and not only generating those AI conversations all the time.
Yeah, 100%. And this is a very good point. Dave has a question for you, Bianca, and this is on up on your alley. How do you see the role of partner marketing teams in your marketing strategies?
Well, it's really, really important because we are making the link between the vendor and the partner side. We need to understand where the partner is in the partner journey and how mature they are from a marketing perspective. What are their marketing functions? What is relevant for them on the market? What are the successes they've seen from their marketing efforts? And then combining them with the relevance that we are on the market from a vendor perspective. So I feel that at this point, especially for vendors like us, it's the most important bit. We need partner marketing in order to generate the right traction on the market, and we need our partners to do that because we can't be all over the place. We can't have all the relationships in our prospects database. So we definitely need to get support from our channel, from our partners in the market. And I've seen, because we have changed a lot our strategy in the last couple of years, we've seen more traction from the partners. They are more engaged with us. They want to hear more from us in order for them to go back to their customers and prospects with the relevant information. And we are basically the most important linkage between vendor side and reseller side, or partner side, if you will.
We have a few questions. Natasha, for instance, she said that the issue she has is that higher quality means more expensive leads, better for sales, but higher budgets required from marketers. And it's a challenge for the clients to balance the budgeting.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure, Bianca, you've been in this situation before.
Multiple times.
And
Yeah.
then, could you share what would you recommend clients that need support with demand generation? I think this is a question for me because I'm the demand generation provider here. I'm happy to take this. So when we are starting our conversations with B2B clients, and Bianca can actually add up some tips and tricks as well, based on our partnership. We are trying to understand both marketing KPIs, but also sales KPIs. And sometimes, even if the initial conversations are happening with marketing directors or marketing managers, we are always asking those questions that we covered in the session. What is the sales cycle? What are you looking to achieve? What is the outcome in terms of, I don't know if it's an event, for instance, if they are planning any like post event follow up. We are trying to understand the whole process, not just, oh, we want to run this content syndication campaign, we need 500 leads and that's it. We are trying to understand how your sales team will follow up with the leads. What are the intent signals that we are looking at? So I think it's communication is probably the first recommendation, because as I mentioned before, it's important for, and Bianca talked about it as well, the alignment is important for both sales and marketing teams on the client side, but it's also important for us as a publisher or as a media agency, because at the end of the day we want to help out our clients to achieve their results, but also make their life easier. So it's important to be communication and also transparency. And then from a publisher point of view, to not be afraid to challenge your client, because sometimes the client have specific KPIs, but they don't necessarily, it's not necessarily scalable, or their sales team is looking for something completely different. So as long as the partners or like the publishers are working closely with clients to focus on the same objectives, I think the partnerships will be meaningful and they will be very consultative, as I said before, rather than just transactional. I hope this answer to your question.
Well, I can take that from the client perspective. So whatever budget we were using before to get high volume campaigns, now we are shifting to a more targeted approach.
Mm-hmm.
We instead of paying for, I don't know, 500 leads or whatever, we prefer to reduce the number to maybe a tenth of it, or trying to get smaller numbers in terms of um, um, audience, but those should be more targeted. We are offering them more assets, or a better targeted industry specific asset, or we are trying to use that budget also for activities that are like roundtables instead of, I don't know, big content syndication campaigns, which bring more value and you can see the return on investment easier. Because I can tell you that content syndication helps, but you have to be patient, and business is not always patient. Yeah, I had a lead that was generating value after 2 years. Nobody cared about it anymore. Even if I said, that was my campaign 2 years ago, nobody cares, because we obviously, that was not the only marketing effort we've done with that lead, but it generated from a content syndication at one point. But it took us 2 years to make that contact or that lead relevant for our company. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's a very good point, and I think marketing has a disadvantage here because if the sales cycle is long, as you mentioned, people won't care about that lead who came from a
Yeah.
content syndication campaign or even whatever marketing initiative, and I feel like it's not fair because of the lack of patience when it comes to building pipeline and getting revenue. There are some good opportunities that are left behind somehow because people want results straight away from with any like at any price pretty much, and that's another challenge that I hear marketers coming up with in our conversations. Cool, we're gonna take one more question and we will prepare to wrap up the session today. Lauren is asking us, what has been the best partner marketing effort or initiative you've done, and if you did gauge a success immediately or after? Well, speaking about timing and getting the right results.
Well, I think one that I can recollect, and it was one of the biggest deals NICE have ever had,
Mm.
has started in 2022 by attending an industry event, right? We were attending one of the biggest contact center industry events in the UK, and it was the first time we invited our partners to be part of our stand and to demo together with us. So we started doing this partner ecosystem, which was not a thing before my days there. So we've invited four of our partners to join us, and one of them got a lead that actually was influenced and got to the point that now it's one of the biggest deals in the UK with more than, I don't know, it's a very big amount, and
Maybe I'll
it's
share that.
in the public sector, and yeah, it's been one of the most challenging efforts, but also the biggest efforts of our partnership.
Mhm.
Talking about other things, right now we've seen a lot of traction with our partners in the smaller type of events where we are we are seeing a higher impact in terms of connections, because we are bringing our customers and prospects to the same table as their customers and prospects, together with a customer that actually has a story to tell. So we are adding storytelling, we are adding relationship from the partner side and from the vendor side. We are adding specialists that can speak about our portfolio in front of them, and then it's a very I don't know, intimate type of event where people have well, can talk more and discuss about their issues, their internal struggles with what's happening on the market.
Mhm.
And therefore, we've had, I don't know, from 12 attendees, we managed to get 3 opportunities, which
Right.
is huge, right?
Conversion. Yeah.
Comparing to, I don't know, a trade show where we've seen how many 500 leads in a day or whatever, and we've seen maybe 1 or 2 opportunities that are coming from those ones. So yeah, the best ones are the most intimate ones at this point. And of course, we are not talking only tactical, but this tactic was brought from from different type of tactics beforehand. We managed to get them to the event because we invited them at a webinar at the beginning. We sent them some assets about what is important, why NICE is important as a vendor on the market. We also had conversations with them throughout specific number of interactions, and then it culminated in this event. And then we are always having our big flagship event in July every year, where they can come and see us, and they can actually see every little bit of the portfolio, and they can see our leadership team talk.
Mhm.
And it's really a good way of balancing and ramping up credibility in front of them.
Absolutely. And I'm actually happy you mentioned this because we can see from our events product perspective, we can see a lot of clients who are partnering up with their partners. And exactly as per your point, they bring their own people. The partners are bringing their own people, and we are targeting like similar clients to bring to these intimate events where I feel like the conversations are genuine and nothing is salesy, nothing is like they don't do a pitch as like trade shows, for instance, where people are actually building relationships and they stay in touch afterwards. So I think, and we see a lot of clients shifting more budget towards in-person events, this kind of like executive roundtables lately, which is very good. Cool. Bianca, thank you very much once again. And thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day and speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.